Today's video, I'm going to be giving you 5 things that most guys don't know. Some women don't even know themselves, and a lot of women don't want guys to know. So these are some distilled notes that I've taken from a lot of the coaching calls that I've done with you guys over the phone on clarity for people that were stuck on things in business and relationship and life and divorce and stuff like that. So I want to give this back to you guys to help you understand a little bit more, female nature, feminine imperative, intergender relationships, that sort of stuff. First disclaimer I want to say is, yes, ladies, I know not all women are like that, and there are some unicorns out there, but on the balance of probabilities, these 5 rules apply to just about everybody. So let's dive right into this. Number 1, monkey branching. Some of you guys already know what this is. Let me just clarify it for those that are new. Monkey branching is, everybody knows what a monkey does when it branches from one tree to the other tree, and it'll let go of one and go to the other. Women are known or unknown monkey branchers. Some guys actually believe that there's a grace period or waiting period of, a month or a week. But the truth of the matter is, women can monkey branch and often do quite a bit faster than that. Usually, within the next day or sometimes within the same day. I've done some coaching calls with some guys where they walk around almost sleepwalking, like they don't even have their eyes open, and a woman has ended a long-term relationship, ghosted, but then they try to keep them at arm's length, like the LJBF, let's just be friends sort of routine, because they want that guy as a backup. But the truth of the matter is, when that happens, it happens a lot sooner than what guys think, and it also happens a lot sooner than women want guys to think. The reason for that is, number 1 is slut shaming. Women tend to get slut shamed if they behave in a promiscuous fashion. I totally get it. But it's also genetically programmed into them. For a very long time, women have been threatened, and still to this day within the world. There's women that'll get stoned to death for getting raped by somebody. So they just want to protect themselves. That's generally why they do it. So that's number 1, monkey branching. Number 2. Hypergamy does not give a shit about relationship equity. I've used this word before, hypergamy, pronounce it any way you want. What it is women tend to move up when it comes to relationship goals, marrying, stuff like that. They don't tend to date down. There's always a line in the sand. They don't date below themselves economically, or more often than not. They always tend to go up. So a lot of guys tend to believe, and this still blows me away every time I coach somebody on this on the phone, but guys still tend to believe that if they put in the work, then they've got this interesting concept of like this universal bank account where they can make deposits and withdrawals. It's almost like, I did this, I did that, I hung up that for you, I did this with the kids, or your kids if they're dating a single mom or something like that. I fixed this, I did that with your car. It's like they do these things and they believe they've got relationship equity that they can make a withdrawal on at a later date. Like it almost creates an extra level of security for them in that relationship. But the truth of the matter is, and if you haven't read The Rational Male, I always have the link below in the description of every one of my videos, and I almost always mention it. Grab the book if you haven't read it. But hypergamy just does not give a shit about relationship equity. You could bend over backwards and do everything for a woman under the sun. If she has the opportunity to monkey branch up to a better deal, and you're not serving her needs anymore, or there's a better opportunity that will serve her needs or the needs of her children, for example, if she's a single mother, she will monkey branch up to the other dude. So don't think for a minute that bending over backwards will create this, deposit withdrawal system for you. It doesn't exist. Okay, number 3. Women tend to spin more plates than guys do. I've mentioned plate spinning theory before, also mentioned in The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. Plate spinning theory is pretty straightforward. It's when you date non-exclusively, meaning you've got more than 2 people that you're dating at the same time, 2 or more, let's say. I know that guys tend to get a lot of heat for being the dogs and dating multiple women and stuff like that. But again, because of things like slut shaming and the way that women are treated throughout the world, and it's known that they have that risk and exposure, they tend to keep their dating activity on the down low. They'll talk about it with their girlfriends. Luckily, I've got some very close female friends that have opened up on this, and I've also coached some women in this area as well that have been dealing with relationship issues that they've been in. But I'll give you a very good example. A woman that I had dated at one point, she was open about the concept of dating other people, open type of relationship, or even bi-curious bi sort of thing. And I had her phone. She's like, read this, da 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 da. She walked away. I closed the phone. And as I closed the app that I was on, I was left in the text message menu. And in the text message menu, I saw all these names with these descriptions after it. So typically when you're dating, it's like, you know, Richard, entrepreneur, Dave, accountant, Chris, contractor, you know, Philip, lawyer, you know, sort of thing. So they tend to not always put the last name of the person or enter it that way in their phone. And there was this list of like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 different names on there. You've got to understand that women aren't going to publicly declare to you that they've got plates spinning, multiple plates spinning, but they tend to spin as many plates, if not more, than men. That's been my experience and what I've come across. All right, let's move on to the next one. What are we on? So women get bored faster than men. That's number 4. Women get bored faster than men when it comes to relationships. Esther Perel wrote a fascinating book called Mating in Captivity. I'll grab a link and put that below as well. I'm going to recommend that to you as well. The book's pretty slow up until about chapter 10 and 11, and then 11 and 12 it gets really interesting for you guys. But one of the things she talks about in her, I think it's been a 40-year career, dealing with men and women and relationship issues and things that they've been stuck on, and counseling them through divorce and indiscretions and so on and so forth, was that she's noted that desire in men tends to gradually decrease over a longer period of time, and desire in women tanks as soon as you're in a long-term relationship or shortly thereafter, very, very quickly. That's why, you know, when people get married and they've been in a marriage for, you know, 4 or 5 years, the guy tends to be okay with things even if they're not the greatest, and women are not, because their desire in the other guy is tanked a lot quicker, which is really why women initiate something like 70 or 80% of the divorces, just because they get fed up with what they're doing and their desire tanks. So you just have to be aware of that. I'm going to leave that at number 4. And guys, I do want to hear your comments on all of these things below. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts are and add it to the community. Also, experiences are very good too. I love reading those. Number 5, women cheat as much as men do, but mostly when they're ovulating. So I'm going to open that one up for a little bit more discussion. You know, women are always going on about how guys cheat all the time. But they're not honest about their sexual activity with guys, again, of course, because of things like slut shaming and how women are treated in society, you know, as a fair sex, so on and so forth. But we've got to be open and honest about this sort of thing, because it does happen just as much. Because how do you have a guy and a girl, you know, have a one-night stand, but, you know, there's no declaration of, you know, women doing the exact same things that guys do. Guys aren't having one-night stands with themselves. They're not masturbating. That's not a one-night stand, okay? Or they're not having it with another dude. When they're talking about these one-night stands, it's with women. And this cheating, you know, phenomenon happens at the same rate between men and women. It's identical. Now, the interesting thing about it when it comes to women, and a lot of women don't even know this themselves, is when they cheat, or when they're more apt to cheat or have these one-night stands, is typically in that small window during the month when they're ovulating. Surprise, surprise, they're looking for the alpha.